gosh, you got pregnant twice at 39. She goes, how do you feel about that?
So it took you 3 months to conceive?
Every day of my life, I think about my baby, what I've lost. Even though I've got Naraya, every day. Said, give you 6 months. She said, I can just see another baby. Give you 6 months. But she has these intuitions.
Yeah.
And I was like, I said, don't forget, I'm nearly 40 now. It's not gonna be so easy. She goes, give you something saying 6 months and there's gonna be a baby here. And I said, okay then. So
it took you 3 months to conceive.
Naraya, yeah. So I thought.
Was you actively trying now after the miscarriage, like, right, we're going to try for another one?
No, I said if it happens, it happens.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking in my mind, I'm 40, who gets pregnant twice at 39? Yeah, what I mean?
Well,
but it happened.
It happened.
Yeah. So June said to me again, say you are breed. So I said, no. She said, look at your belly. So I said, I'm probably still carrying from the baby that I lost, like belly fat. So I didn't say anything to Leon. And my mum was in Jamaica. And I thought, let me just do a test because my period's a bit later than what it normally is. And I ran the test and I was like, doofus here, right? Ran the test. So I got like, I'm not spending loads of money on the clinic. So that's a bookkeeper in me. I'm not spending all that money on the pregnancy test. What's the point? If it comes back negative, yeah. I'm going to go get in the fight where you get 2 in the box for £5.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get on there. So I had one from Phoebe.
Yeah.
Left. So I went to use it and I went to wee on it. And I looked at it when I finished using the toilet. And I was like, this thing's as dry as ever.
How did you wee on it? You've done it the wrong way. You meant to do it from the front. I do it from the front. You got to aim right.
The next time.
You're so daft. Why would you do it around the back?
I don't know what possessed me to do it from around the dry as ever, So I thought, right, okay then. So I went back to the toilet and I was ready and I went and it came up bright as ever. I was like, oh my gosh, Leon, look. I said, you're going to be a dad again. He was so happy.
Was he happy?
Yeah, he was so happy. So I didn't really tell anyone this time. So I thought, let me just register the baby and get everything done. Because obviously, because I just had a miscarriage, I thought, let me just see if I can book in to see the midwife and stuff. So it was like a week before my 40th I found out. But I had a belly again.
Yeah, you would do though, because for some reason
your body knows what it's doing, doesn't it?
Yeah, as soon as you get pregnant, once you've had multiple pregnancies, it's like your body knows and starts expanding, it's making room and stuff. Yeah, you start showing earlier as well, don't you think?
Yeah, I think the more you have, the earlier you show.
Yeah, I think, and don't you think you start feeling movements
earlier?
Yeah, with each pregnancy that goes by. Do you want tissue, babe?
Have I got anything on my face?
No.
All right, no.
No, because you're sniffing like me, so that's why you think I've got a cold and I put makeup on.
Yeah. So I put so I remember went to put the Christmas tree with the kids, but I had a vest top on, and I told. No, Autumn asked her dad. She says, "Is Mum pregnant?"
Really, kids know.
So yeah, it's true. So it must have said. Yeah, but she's not ready to tell you yet. So she didn't say anything because she wouldn't say anything. I could have told Logan would have said it because Logan can carry secrets.
To his grave.
Yeah. He won't tell nobody. So I said to Josiah, look. So I looked. And he goes, congratulations. And Austin's like,
Josiah's your brother.
Yeah, my little brother. I knew it. And he just had a baby as well.
Yeah.
A few months before. And Austin's like, I knew it. So, went to do my checks and stuff.
So, let's go back a bit. Because you've had the miscarriage already.
Yeah.
Did they bring you in to do your HCGs?
No, I didn't know what HCG was. Honestly, I seen the count. I was like, what's that supposed to be? And never done it before, ever.
Oh, no. So did they check it?
No, but they might have, but not said anything.
Yeah.
Because they have to take loads of blood, don't they?
Yeah, because I think... Like I said, with Lily, it wasn't measured because it was normal pregnancy. But then, since having the miscarriages...
They have to measure yours?
They always measure it, like, every 2 days.
Oh, no, they didn't do that.
Yeah, every 2 days they measure them to see how they go.
How it's growing. It's meant to, like, double, then double, then double, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I went to the hospital. I didn't go to the hospital. I went to the clinic, and I speak to the midwife, and she said to me, "Gosh, you got pregnant twice at 39." She goes, "How do you feel about that?" I was like, "God is good," but I didn't think
it was
possible. That was possible, because obviously I would have thought the younger you are, the easier it would be. And she says, not necessarily. But even Sarah said to me, "Look how you're more fertile the older you get." Some people.
So well, I hope that applies to me. Right, I'll take that one. I'm taking it. I hope that applies to me. I hope I push out all 3 eggs one time.
Imagine.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's like, the older you get, you can get more fertile. I didn't know. I thought you get less fertile. She goes, "No, some people." Well, you look at Ashanti and all them.
That's true.
Yeah, they were 40 odd and pregnant. So I remember going into the clinic, and I said to the midwife, I was like, she took my blood, and I said, "I'm rhesus negative, and I don't know what blood group the baby is." And now also, sorry, when I was carrying my first 3, I had so their blood gets tested straight away at birth. Mm-hmm. So they take the blood to check what their blood group is, to see if mine's, or they've got a dad's blood group. Mm-hmm. But now they can do it at, I think it's 26 weeks, where they can take blood from you, but get enough blood from the baby, and they can test it.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy how technology's got. It's like technology's come a long way in 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so obviously I was like early days, and I was telling her, and I said, "So what if my baby, what I lost, has got a positive blood group, and the baby might have a positive, and our blood's mixed, and the baby's in here, and if the baby's blood's still inside me, would that mean that it will hurt my baby?" She said it would do, but we're not going to think on them lines. I never checked my app so often in my life.
Do you know what
app what you get?
Yeah, no.
I checked it so often one day in my life. Because normally comes through here, get a pling. I was like, nah, I didn't get no beeps all week. And the midwife rang me. She goes, "Oh, Tanya, we just need to do something." And I said, "How old was my antibody count?" And she said, "There's none." I was like, "Thank you, Jesus."
But you know what? Ain't that the longest wait ever?
Yeah.
And do you know, when you've got some form of condition and you're pregnant, your mind goes overtime. Yeah. It's that stress in itself.
Yeah, exactly. I thought, thank you, can relax now. I can relax. But yeah, everything came out, and here's baby Naraya.
To tell the tale.
Yeah, my rainbow
Wash
baby.
belly, rainbow baby. So did you get any early scans done, or did you wait for your 12 weeks?
I waited for my 12-week scan.
I thought they would have gave you an early scan.
No, early scan. I got all my scans right at the end.
No, because you miscarried, so I just thought they would have.
I thought they would have scanned
like sooner. 8 weeks at least.
To see if it was a heartbeat. Yeah. No, didn't get none of that.
They're too out of order.
You get early scans, don't you?
Always.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I'm high risk, that's why. But still, I feel like they should do it as standard.
I think they should scan. That's what I was saying to this. I think they should scan mums at like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because if someone went through what I've been through, and you carrying a dead baby for 7 weeks, that's not a nice feeling when you think about it.
Hold on, exactly. And you're convinced that everything's fine.
Okay, yeah.
You're not going to know any different, because that gestation, you don't feel movement anyway. No. So you're not going to think anything, and your hormones are still going crazy. Exactly. And that's the mean part about it. When you're miscarrying, it's horrible when your hormones are still elevated and you're getting all the same symptoms.
Cravings, everything.
Everything's awful.
And your belly's growing, you can see your belly growing. You can't fit in your jeans. It's
and
not
you know why that happens as well? Because even though the baby stopped growing, your progesterone is still really high, and that's what makes your
belly grow.
And all that jazz, because progesterone is what makes you put on weight and stuff like that.
Is it?
Yeah. See, I know about hormones, you know. I've got to know all the highs and lows. That's what it is. So that's what makes your boobs tender and make you puffy and all of that jazz. And you've got all that to deal with. And at the end of it, nothing to show for it.
Nothing.
And I thought it was only me that had that feeling of, I've gone through all this for nothing.
Yeah, that's what I felt. I just thought, do you know what? Every day of my life, I think about my baby, what I've lost. Even though I've got Naraya, every day, even the kids say, "Oh, Phoebe this," and even my husband mentioned it this morning. Yeah, I said she would have been 1 last month if we carried. But then, in saying that, we wouldn't have had Naraya.
That's what I mean. That's true. And do you know what's so funny? Because people think when you have a baby after loss, you're replacing that baby, but
No,
it isn't.
wasn't
It's
a
not the same. It's not a
no.
replacement because the experience is different,
Different,
as well.
exactly. Completely different child. Yeah.
When you compare Phoebe's 12 weeks compared to Naraya's 12 weeks, how did that differ?
I felt this boy moving. I used to think I felt Phoebe moving, and I'm so convinced I did, but I was thinking all the time, was I convincing myself or what? But I used to get weird feelings in my stomach with her.
Yeah.
But with Naraya, this boy was moving closest. And I said to them, it felt different.
Yeah.
The movement I thought I felt different. Like with Perez, it felt like when I was carrying Perez. I remember going to my 12 weeks carrying Perez because I didn't know how far gone I was because I found out quite late. And they said I was 9 weeks. And I remember them saying, he's got hiccups in it. That's what I said to them. I said, yeah, how do you know? I said, I can feel it. Yeah, I said I can feel it.
Oh, when he's got hiccups. Oh,
yeah.
that's
But
so
I could feel it in the right, proper full on kicks. But his kicks, when they got bigger, his kicks were strong. Yeah.
This little boy, you know.
Yeah. His kicks were strong. His dad used to love it. But yeah, that 12 weeks. But instead, I still had the same things like eating. I was scared to go out though, like, because it was near Christmas. I didn't do any Christmas shopping. I didn't do anything because I'm really snagged. I thought, what if someone runs into me? Then I've got to go back to the hospital. And worst case scenario, so I would stay in or stay away from crowded places.
Yeah,
because it was just that's always going to be in the back of your mind, especially if you've lost a baby. Maybe if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't up and about as normal. And it was quite tiring with him. It was quite tiring with Phoebe as well. But then I think it's that age.
The pregnancy was going to take a toll because we're getting older. And stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you're here to tell the tale. Exactly. And he's here sleeping after he's had his breast milk.
Yep. And
the joys.
The joys, man. Do you know what? To be honest with you, even though I've experienced the miscarriage, I thought I would never wish it on my worst. I don't have it anyways. But I would never wish it on anybody. It's a horrible thing to go through. Horrible thing to go through. And when I heard your stories and how many different miscarriages you had, I was like, wow.
Yeah, I don't think
you don't realize there's so many different types.
Yeah, honest to God,
miscarriage is a miscarriage.
Mine's were all different.
Yeah,
they weren't the same.
Miscarriage,
all different experiences. And some people didn't know, like they were unaware. They know that I might have had one, maybe, but not everyone knew that I had. And
like ectopic pregnancy,
and that was awful.
That when on my pregnancy, something that freaked me out.
Yeah,
just the pain. That's the only thing.
But you know what? I didn't experience pain.
Didn't you?
No.
Oh.
No, mate. No, mate. It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't.
No pain losing.
Exactly. Hence why I feel like it's important, because the textbook symptoms that you will read online differs depending on each woman.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the classic signs and symptoms of ectopic pregnancy. I really didn't.
Yeah, I didn't have the classic signs and symptoms of a silent miscarriage. Because she said to me, honestly, she goes, I don't know if that's your heartbeat or the baby's heartbeat. But I was like, if you're testing me way down there, how's my heartbeat picking up on your monitor? Yeah. You get what I mean? Because my heart's up here and you're testing down the baby's there. Still in my pelvis. To me, that's a big distance. I don't know how it works scientifically, but
yeah, because obviously we're not sonographers, but
to them it might be.
Yeah, but who knows? But it could have been. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who freaking knows? Because miracles happen, but I don't know. I think the weird thing is having an ectopic and taking your tube, because people have ectopics, and they can save the tube.
Oh. Yeah. The tube comes out automatically.
No, they can save the tube. So what they'll do is, if it's really, really early, they can scrape out the tube and keep the tube. But because my tube started to burst, they couldn't save it anyway. I know. Exactly. I had a live fetal pole.
What's that?
A fetal pole's the heartbeat.
Did you?
I had a live fetal pole. Imagine. And they knew that when they went in to do my ectopic, that's when they knew it was internal bleeding, when they went to do the surgery. They didn't know from the scan. The scan didn't tell them.
The scan won't tell you nothing, does it?
Honestly, the scan didn't tell them.
Yeah.
That life, so it made sense, because each time they were trying to long it out, saying, "Oh no, let's just see. Come back in a week for another scan." They were dragging it out, and obviously your baby's growing each time. But like I said, if I didn't have, maybe if the pregnancy had stopped at like 4 weeks, maybe, or 5 weeks, then it wouldn't have burst, would it? Because it would have been growing.
Small,
yeah. But there's people also that go 12 weeks.
With ectopic pregnancy?
Yeah. I only found that out once I was
That's a
experiencing it
good-sized
myself.
baby.
Exactly. Mash up your tube, you can die.
Yeah, so you can probably die from that.
Yeah, you can die. So it's a serious thing. They do not mess about with it. So that's why last year when I was pregnant, that was most of my panic.
Yeah.
Even when they said, oh, sorry, the pregnancy stopped, just like yourself, you stopped growing, whatever. That kind of went over my head because I was just happy that it was in the right place and not in my last tube that I've got.
That's true as well.
Honestly, so to me, that was, oh, look at his little feet.
That messed me up.
Yeah,
it's just, it's a horrible thing to go through. That's all I can say. And to anyone that's going through it, believe me. And do you know what else? Comforted me. I remember when I was actually going through the miscarriage and I was going through TikTok, and I don't spend my life on TikTok, but I would just search miscarriage and silent miscarriage and stuff on TikTok, and there was this doctor, and I think he's a Christian doctor, and he just said, talking about women who miscarriage, and it's like, I'm sorry you're going through this and it's not your fault, but bear in mind, when you lose your baby, God has got a plan for you to conceive. It could have a plan for you to conceive again, and that you're just getting rid of the bad egg to
bring in new ones.
Egg, yeah.
Do you know what I was just about to say as well?
That video, I'm gonna look for it.
Send it to me. Do you know what else is? Well, I've learned is
thank you, Jesus.
When you have a miscarriage, it's your body's way of expelling the chromosome that made up that embryo. The chromosomes weren't correct, or there was some form of abnormality with that egg or with that child, that pregnancy. Yeah. So your body expels it before it even gets to that point. So sometimes we have to be kind of thankful. But I love what you've just said because it gives me a bit more hope that, you know what, maybe all this that I'm going through, and then remember now I'm taking like herbal teas and vitamins and stuff. I'm just preparing myself, ready for that. We're not young like before, so we've got to. We're not spring chickens. We've got to prepare ourselves. Yeah. So that gave me some comfort because the body is an amazing thing and it knows what it's doing. It knows exactly what it's doing.
God knew what He was doing to create our bodies. He knew exactly what He was doing.
But I'm just so happy, and I was shocked. Listen, the fact that she got pregnant straight away gives me hope.
Yep. Oh gosh, yeah.
Honest to God.
Gosh, yeah. It can happen. But if anyone's going through it, who's watching this video, I'm sorry, but just be prepared, because it can always happen again. Always. If it happened to me at 39, it can happen to anybody. And to get pregnant twice.
Straight away.
Get pregnant back to back, literally. So
there is still, it is a blessing, and there is still hope for all us over 40s, and if you're under 40.
Yep.
And you've been through any of this experience, just cling on to your faith and to hope, and it will happen. And stay positive as well, because I feel like sometimes we focus on the negative because you've been through it before. You automatically start thinking the worst, but try and just, from the moment you have that positive pregnancy test, just celebrate it and think positive, because it doesn't mean it's going to happen again.